do it! Get a grip! This stupid video I just showed you! I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show! It's donkey! You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship! Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State, it's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah. What a start to the week, man. You log in. It's just, I never thought there'd be a world where I'm 40 years old and it's my job and I'm sitting here in the morning getting ready for Monday mornings, getting ready for the work week. And we're all talking about Mark with glasses, skid marks. I'm telling you what, man, it's just, this is a wild world. I love this vibe so much. Man. I'm just, we have a unique group of personalities over here. That's for damn sure. Dr. John is in the chat. What are you, still hungover from your raging party or what? He had an all-nighter for that 85th. Oh, man. Good stuff. I'm telling you what, man, we're getting rounded into mid-season form. Look at this chat. The chat be popping even before the show. I'm telling you, we're on to something. We're on the up-ramp. For sure. The camp ramp. And, man, it's a beautiful thing. And I got to tell you, I feel fulfilled here with the weekend activity, with the Saturday night show that was popping. We had a good crowd the whole time. Like, everybody was engaged. It was awesome. And then last night, I joined the Ohio pod, and me and Eric talked some Notre Dame ball, and then we talked some Ohio State ball. Like, that was good. It feels good to fill the weekend again. You know what I mean? Like we do during the season with the Saturday show and all this stuff. And it is. Yeah, Mark says, I just realized I watched John Friday morning, Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday morning. You got a John problem, bro. It's a lot of John, but here we are. I just got to say, I just like the engagement. I just like the level of engagement. How many people are back in the mix, commenting, calling, whatever, having their opinions? There's some of them today that I've already starred in the chats that we got to go over. There's some things I agree with, some things I don't agree with. There's a lot of Johnny nuance here, a lot of wiggle room for interpretation. I think we're all going to lose our minds leading into Miami. I just do. I think we're all going to lose our minds heading into Miami. There's just so many moving things that you don't have an answer to. It's just going to mess with your head until the game. There's no other way around it. We're doing it. We're 48 days away or something. And I'm already playing out every different scenario in my mind of what could go on, what could go right, what could go wrong, what it's going to look like, what this roster is going to be like, all this stuff. It's just, it's going to be a rough build, and no one knows what we're getting till that ball snapped down in Miami. It is, but I got to thank you guys for all the weekend engagement, people that went over to the Ohio pod trying to help your boy out in enemy territory last night. The Saturday night shows are awesome. So we got people coming over for a pool party next Saturday. Who knows how long that's going to run till and what the drinking situation's like. We're not going to do a show for this next Saturday night, but after that, we're getting close to camp and then we're in camp. I think we just need to make the weekend shows, try and do a regular Saturday night show, book it, and just plan on doing that because, man, it's a lot of fun. And when it's a Saturday night, but it's not a game reaction, it's just so much more relaxing because you could have fun and it's not as intense as a post-game show and all that kind of stuff. So I think we got to get back into that because the Saturday night are The Saturday night shows are great. So welcome in, everybody. Glad you're starting your week here. I got a couple really simple concepts that I want to go over. I better not have no snakes in the pool. I'll tell you that right now. Better not have no snakes in the pool. I already got them in the yard. I got them underneath the sidewalk. It's like an anaconda factory over here in Illinois. I don't appreciate it, man. I got to keep my head on a swivel. My boy, I'm out there doing yard work. I'm just trying to weed eat, and I got to keep my eye open for a freaking pit viper off the side of my eye. I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it. Not a snake guy, man. Not a snake guy at all. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Swan Dog. I want to hear John do an uncensored show and see how he actually talks. Anybody that was with me when it was audio only can fill you in on that. Anybody that was with me, I had to do audio only at first. I didn't want people to know who I was because I had a job with the Catholic Church. And the language was rough. The language was rough. So yeah, that was the old days. Now we got things we got to kind of protect and clean it up a little bit. Johnny Boy keeps the show mostly family friendly. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni out as well. Notifications on. That way you don't miss nothing. Twitter search bar always Irish or at always Irish Inc. Emails always irishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You could get it. If you don't want to see my stupid face, do the audio only. It's a good way to get the information and not have to see me. Nobody blames you. Notre Dame on SI. Read all about it. Yeah, scorpions. I ain't a big scorpion guy either. I don't like that thing with that. Just sitting there with that thing waiting to get you when you're just walking through the woods or something. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Don't trust no scorpions. Even though they have legs, I say don't trust anything without legs. I could still not trust stuff with legs. Certain things, it's just a blanket statement not to trust anything without them. That doesn't mean anything with legs is perfectly fine. I don't like no big old nasty spiders. And you know what that's from? I used to work for a guy who was my boss. And in the summer, he'd wear shorts to work. It was for the school district. And this dude's knee, it looked like a volleyball on his knee, bro. Like totally inflamed. It looked like a huge circle on his kneecap. Like big, like a 16-inch softball almost, right? And finally, we asked this dude, we're like, bro, what happened to your knee? Why do you look all messed up like this? This dude tells me he was working for the school district, moving vending machines, and he kneeled down to like unhook a Coke machine or something. And some spider from under the machine bit his knee. And it was like a brown recluse or something with a scary name that was poisonous. And the dude's knee is permanently jacked up forever just from that one little bite from one little brown spider, dude. So I don't mess with them neither. I'll never forget the way how jacked up that dude's knee looked, bro. And so whatever, not a spider guy, not a scorpion guy, not a snake guy, not a shark guy. Anything else on the list? You got anything else? Let's add it to the list. It's a no for me, dog. It's a no for me. Don't forget about patreon.com/. Always. He the former captain. He the leading tackler. Mike Goolsby and myself. Cardinal Mooney head coach. Notre Damer Jared Clark. ND Recruiting 01. We got an all-star team over there. Thanks to everybody that's there. Yeah, definitely not a cat guy. I'm going to die. What are you kidding me? I'll die. You want to kill Johnny? Lock me in a room with a few cats. I ain't going to last that long. That's the deal. If you want to do like a mob hit on John or something, all you got to do is trick me to get into a room and then just throw some cats in there and leave. And in a half hour, I'll be laying there purple like Brian Kelly. Stroking out. Can't breathe. It'd be bad. It would be bad. Yeah, baby shark, do. You could do yourself in the ocean without me in there. Don't need it, don't want it, don't like it, okay? So that's the deal. Oh, I like most dogs. I like most dogs. I did get attacked by some little rat dog in the city. I was living in the city. I think I was hopping on the L to go to a Cubs game. Not a Cubs fan, but I used to take the ladies there. I had front row tickets that my uncle paid. He has worked so hard for in the big city for his season tickets, and then he could only make it to like one game a week because he's working so hard to afford the season tickets. He'd give them to me. And then I would invite a different girl. You want to go to the Cubs game? I got front row tickets. They didn't need to know they weren't mine. I did that for like 2 years up there. It was great. Sit in the front row. We're whining, we're dining, baby. And I'm all cleaned up, looking spiffy for this date. I'm going to hit the L. And some old guy with the dog on some huge rope. The dog looked innocent, like a Toto dog or something. And the dog ran right to me, jumped on me. He was attached to my thigh, right through my shorts. That thing's teeth was on my leg. I'm shaking this stupid rat dog. He bit right through my shorts, and he had both his jaws on, digging into my skin and my thigh. I'm punching this dog. I throw that thing finally. And then I'm looking all messed up. I show up to the Cubs game with red on my shorts and like bleeding down my leg. I should have sued that guy. And what's the point of having a 50-foot lead rope for your rat dog if it's too much slack to keep it from attacking the public? So I messed that up. I should have been laying in the street. Oh, my leg. I should have been foaming at the mouth, put some Dawn soap in my mouth, foam in my mouth, and be, oh, I got rabies. I got rabies. I should have sued that old man. Messed up my day. My leg's bleeding. Bad day. It was a bad day. I didn't appreciate it, man. Imagine driving by on that street and seeing me fighting this stupid dog attached to my leg. And I don't like no rat dogs. I like at least a decent sized dog, not one of these little ones where if you get up in the middle of the night, you're going to step on it and it's gone. Come on, man. Anyways, all right. So that's the deal with that. You got to put him down like old Yeller. I put that stupid thing down, and the old man's acting like it's my fault. Like, oh, what are you doing? What do you mean? What am I doing? Walking on a public sidewalk to get on the train, bro. What are you doing with a 90-foot leash for your rat dog that bites innocent people? What are you doing, old man? What do you mean? What am I doing? Walking on a public sidewalk. What are you doing? Oh, I got him on a rope for a reason. Yeah, 90-foot rope that has so much slack he could attack anybody in a 90-foot radius. Should have sued that old man. Talking about, I mean, my thigh still hurts. I think I might have rabies. Maybe that's why I act the way I do and think the way I do. Who knows? Let's do. We got a few phone calls. You guys have some interesting chats, and then we're going to get right to the calls. It's starting to fill up. You guys are interested today. You're getting invested. This is great. We have some early buy-in here. The Sly. Good morning, always Irish Nation and trolls. 48 more days till redemption. 48, man, it's coming quick. It's coming quick. Who's calling today? If you never called before, hop in the mix. Saturday night was a really good blend. We had some new callers, some people that haven't called in a while, and our regulars. It cracked me up, that one guy that said, I called you, but it's been a while. I'm thinking like, what, after the playoff run? He's like, no, it was 4 years ago. Well, thanks for jumping back in. I can't believe we've been doing this that long. 4 years. The guy was like, yeah, I thought I'd give you a call back. Domer Guy 88. To the people that are saying Miami's living off things they accomplished in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, how's ND any different? What have we accomplished since then that Miami has? When I say this, I'm thinking more of the cultural part of it. And it feels like Miami's chasing a day and age where the times have changed and you just can't do it that way anymore. I'm not necessarily talking about the on-field results, but that thug culture they bought into that was encouraged by like the leadership at Miami, the literal thug nature of it that they fully embraced and were encouraged to for a while. I just don't think you could do that anymore. That's what I'm talking about. Trying to relive those tough guy days of being like that thug team, and that's your image and that's how you play. I just don't think that works anymore. Things have changed too much. I don't think you could pull that off. Kids aren't built the same. Kids are soft now. They're not built like rough and tumble guys in the late 80s. It's just they grow up different. It's a whole different like world. I just don't think they're not soft, but they're different the way everybody's brought up. That's what I'm referencing. I don't think that thug thing works anymore. That's more what I'm referencing, not necessarily the on-field results. Cristobal is a great coach. He needs to win this. There's nothing in his history that suggests to me he's a great coach. Nothing. Not his record, not anything. There's nothing in that guy's record that makes me think he's a great coach. He needs to win this bad. That part's true. Beck is a great QB sometimes. Beck is a guy that runs real hot and real cold. When he gets on a heater, he could be electric. When he goes bad, it could be real bad. So it is incumbent on Notre Dame's new look defense to make him have a bad night. Make him have a streak there where it's bad. He's throwing you the ball. He's making bad decisions. He's rushing things, whatever it is. Like Beck, he's an easy target because of the way he looks. I understand that. I thought it was funny when his cars got taken back right when he moved to Miami. But he runs hot or cold. So you got to make sure he runs cold against you. He runs hot and cold. He's got to run cold against you. But there's nothing Cristobal's done that makes me think he's a great coach. Did I miss something big that he's won? I don't know. Good recruiter, I guess, but like you need more than that. We ain't anything special, y'all. I understand we won the sugar and orange, and that's great, but we need to prove staying power and string together back-to-back seasons like that. Absolutely. It's the number one question of the year for Notre Dame. Was that a one-hit wonder? You got a good quarterback leader and rode his running game and his attitude right through the playoff, and it was a one thing, and you got lucky and you drew Signetti. Like, are all these excuses for Notre Dame having one good year and then you go back to missing the playoff? Or is this program now mature enough, deep enough, and talented enough to have all these big changes? The DC, the O-line's messed up, new quarterback. Can Notre Dame overcome all that and be a playoff team? If you do that this year, you should be a playoff team every year because this is a big reset year with that new quarterback thing. This is a big change. If you're able to navigate that and make the playoff again, the rosters just should get better. You should be in the playoff every single year. And winning this thing, not just getting there, but winning this thing, it's about spins of the wheel, man, rolls of the dice. You got to be in it to win it. The more often you're in it, the more chance you have to string it all together and not fall one game short. Phil, Saturday night shows are the best. Just don't hold me accountable for anything I say on the line or in the chat. Phil was having some issues. He fell. He got injured. Erica was... I'm still, hey, Phil, tell Erica I'm mad at her. She didn't get on the phone with me. That's her fault. She's going to owe me an extra shot at the tailgate. Mark with glasses. Game 1 in Miami on a Sunday night, so there's lots of weirdness about this matchup. Week 1 variance. I always talk about it every time the season rolls around. Week 1 variance. There are weird things that happen in week 1 games that do not happen the rest of the year. I talk about it all the time. Silly mistakes, miscommunications, a busted coverage in the secondary because somebody didn't hear the right call, whatever. I always see at least one snap going 80 yards over a quarterback's head because we're not on the same page with the center with the snap count. And the guy's looking over here and then they snap it over his head. There's all these weird little nuanced mistakes and miscommunications that happen around the country in week 1. You got to make sure you're on the winning side of that ledger. Whatever that looks like, whatever the mistakes are, you got to make sure you're on the right side of that ledger. There's always weird week 1 stuff. You got to make sure it happens for you and not against you. That's it. Right now, I'm in the opinion that until proven otherwise, Miami is a better coach and QB. That's huge. I totally disagree on the coach thing. He's 12-12. Isn't he like 500 in the ACC? He's 5. Yeah, Mark says he's 12-12 in the ACC. I totally disagree as the better coach. Quarterback, I mean, it's hard to compare something against nothing. It's like, I honestly don't know how to compare a guy that has a stat line that we've all seen to nothing. You don't know whether he's better or worse than our guy. I've never seen our guy play. So how could I know whether he's better or worse than this guy? I don't know. And that's going to be a part of my neuroticism all the way up till the game, and we see what's going on. J Carr. The entire chat is filled with Miami talk and WPP is in here. How is that possible? All I know is I laughed my ass off when WPP got banned from the Ohio State show last night. I don't even know what he was saying, but I was on there talking to Eric, and then I see everybody in the Ohio State chat being like, ban this WPP guy. Look what he's chatting. I didn't even see what he chatted, but he got kicked out of the Ohio State podcast. And none of those people know WPP and his vibe and everything. Yeah, but he definitely got banned out of the chat. And it was hilarious because it wasn't even our chat. Tex ND. I will say that Saturday night, Always Irish Love Fest it is the perfect bridge between shows. Makes the weekend seem so much shorter. Thanks for Saturday night, Johnny. It's fun, man. Everybody's in a good mood. It's the weekend. There's no Notre Dame stress like immediate with the game. You're able to crack some lids, call Johnny Boy. We have a good time over there, man. A good blend of personalities, too. Everybody's just kind of in a better mood at night than they are first thing in the morning, and I understand that. I'd be floored if it wasn't Carr as QB1, but what do I know? I'm just a low IQ ND fanboy. Well, at least you know it, right? Like, at least you admit it. I think it's going to be Carr. Just from the things I've heard and whatever, I think it's going to be Carr because I think they're a big believer in that arm talent, that it's truly different. And that is going to be the trait that makes him win the job. Here's what's interesting about that, though. The question is, what does Freeman Denbrock do if the O-line can't hold up in pass pro? Mobile QB, Will Black, so much nuance. Yeah, I don't know. Because that's the trick, right? Like that's where the rubber meets the road here is the best thing you could do to protect this quarterback is a lockdown defense and good offensive line so you could run the ball and give him all the time in the world to process routes. And what do you have? A new defensive coordinator, and I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go or what we're going to get. I am hopeful, but wait until see. And you got offensive line issues to worry about protecting this kid's backside. So, that's where my mind goes. It's like, well, the easiest way to ease this kid into starting is a lockdown defense, so you don't need to score 40 points to win. Keep the score down. And then a good O-line that helps the run game and everything else. And I have questions about all of that. I am wait and see until I believe that defense is going to be just as good or better. There is a possibility it ends up being better, but there's no way to know that right now. So I am a believer in the personnel, but wait and see on that. And the O-line, same thing, man. Same thing. Oh, John, you don't know about ball. It takes an O-line a long time to gel, and you don't know about that. So why are you telling me? Yeah, I know it takes time to gel. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be good enough to win. You don't have to be a fully formed, self-actualized unit with games 1 and 2. You just got to be good enough to win. You got to be good enough to not have catastrophic mistakes, right? There are going to be mistakes. They can't be catastrophic. You got to. I don't know how this stuff's going to go, and it's going to cost my hairline and my blood pressure until they snap the ball in Miami. By the way, with everyone in America watching, everyone everyone. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't know what channel this is going to be on. Can we bring this back? We're going to bring this back. We need to go back to an era where these TV channels put effort into a pregame promo introduction thing. The whole Rudy thing, Notre Dame, Florida State, that whole romantic intro, a game, I got goosebumps just talking about it. Just a game just around the corner on Main Street. This whole, you need to bring that back. I want them to bring back an intro package that builds it all out, shows the fight in the tunnel, the whole thing, like present this thing the right way. Everyone in America is watching. Everyone. Everybody. It's a big moment. It's a big damn moment. So I don't know. It is this is going to be a stressful start to the season, folks, and I need Notre Dame to do a good job. Callers, I'm coming to you. I wanted to, okay, Commander. Here's the deal. There's always nuance. Everything with Notre Dame has nuance. Commander says, this is possibly the easiest schedule we've seen in 20 plus years. I think it might be tougher than last year. So right there, like I think it might be tougher than last year's, to be honest. But I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. It isn't just about the overall teams you play or whatever. It's also situational. It's also about when you play those teams. That's where the nuance comes in. If you look at all of those teams or whatever, I agree with you. It is not a particularly tough Notre Dame slate. However, when you look at the circumstances, it's a tough start. And there's landmines all over Notre Dame's got to avoid stepping on. There is danger afoot early in this schedule, and Notre Dame's got to be a mature enough program to sidestep it all. So I totally agree with you. That overall, it's not a particularly tough, challenging looking schedule, but it's a tough start. So some of it is situational. And I got people being like, why are people worried about Miami? Like a lot of people don't believe in Miami. It's like, why are you worrying about Miami? They're not that good or whatever. You can debate that all you want. My argument is, it's not my thinking of this is not just looking at the Miami roster, and I have concern. I wouldn't necessarily call Miami a tough start. You know what, Kent? It's a lot tougher than starting with Miami, Ohio. Look, give me a break here. At least you know Miami's going to have real talent. Most teams in the country are starting with Miami, Ohio's, not Miami, Florida. So give me a break. You don't have no gimme to ease in your new quarterback. I know you play Texas. There's about, 4 or 5 really good head-to-head matchups in the beginning. I'm just saying. Don't act like it's Miami, Ohio. I'm just saying. It's like, geez, could be a lot easier. But what I'm saying is, it's the circumstantial evidence that is causing alert for me. Some of it is knowing Miami has some athletes because they're going to, but it's also the new quarterback, and you don't know what you're going to get. And you're going to their place, and it's going to be loud and obnoxious. It's going to be the only game of the year where that dump is filled with fans. It's going to be the only game of the year where that dump is full. Okay? So you have all that. And the new defense, and it's going to be loud. And then you have the new quarterback, and you have the environment. And it's the totality of all that stuff makes it challenging. It isn't all just because we're playing Miami. It's all the circumstances wrapped around and into it. 2021 was the easiest schedule. How did that go? The toughest game you had ended up being Cincinnati at home. How did that go? How did that work out? You had one tough game the whole year, and it was at home, and you still lost it. It was a BK special, baby. It was a BK special, baby. You had one kind of tough game all year, and even that shouldn't have been that tough, and it was at home, and you failed. And you failed. That was your toughest game, and it wasn't even that tough. You got to be kidding me. You got to be outside your mind. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't understand. Albert, you hear what you want to hear, man. I've just spent the first 25 minutes talking about all the weird things I'm worried about to start the year, and now I'm overconfident. Or like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I've been talking about all the things I'm worried about and saying all these things could go wrong. And now I get Notre Dame is overly confident for no reason. I just can't. Like, I just went over a myriad of different things that I'm worried about, and Notre Dame's overconfident. I just went over all the things that could go wrong. While you were typing that, I was saying there's a lot of danger in the beginning part of the schedule and a lot of ways things could go wrong. And Notre Dame is overly confident, so I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, man. I really don't. I don't. All I've been doing is talk about all the stuff that I'm worried about. John, realistically, do you see Miami scoring much on us? I hope not. I hope not. But you know the mistake I'm not going to make? I'm not going to make the mistake of saying, our defense has been good forever and we changed DCs and now it'll all be fine and it'll be easy sailing. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I am optimistic, a believer in a lot of the roster on the defensive side, but I got to wait and see that it's going to be good. I got to wait and see that it's going to be good. Albert, thank you for the clarification. You're a newer name, Albert. Glad to have you here. Although everything you put in there is about Miami beating Notre Dame. I noticed in the last show. Everything you put. Are you a Miami fan? I don't recognize the name. It's Albie the Falcon, baby, from the old Chicago mob days. Albie the Falcon in the house. I'm talking about the weird fans in the chat. Well, I can tell you this right now. There certainly is some weird fans in the chat. Those are my people. Those are my people. Easiest schedule in 20 plus years is nonsense. Take your meds. Listen, if you get by, I was talking the other week about Notre Dame getting the most bets to be undefeated this year, which surprises me a little bit, considering the tough early part of the schedule and a new quarterback. Surprises me there's that much buy-in that we'll be able to overcome all that. It could go a million different ways. If you sit there, you ever do what I do, you're driving around running errands and you just play it out in your head. There's a lot of different ways this could go. Great to start the year. You're off to the races. The quarterback integrates and they're ahead of they're not playing and processing information like a rookie. The defense is flying around. You're feeling good. Whatever they do at O-line, it's good enough. But I could also see some problems. But that undefeated thing, if Notre Dame is 2-0 after the first two, the odds of them going undefeated increase significantly to the point where I'd be shocked if it didn't happen almost. So I don't know. It's just going to be weird fans. The chat would be boring if people were normal. The Wolf, you're darn right. Something about my show, I don't think it draws the most normal crowd. And it may be the leader's fault here about my personality. We got some quirky personalities, but they're ours, damn it. They're ours. Looks like Sherrod Moore's record. Again, listen, can I ask a question? Phil says, I was normal till I joined this chat. It's downhill from there. How did Sherrod Moore still have a job? Can I just inquire about that? I don't understand how that guy that was directly in the middle of all of this sign stealing stuff, He's literally deleting the texts between him and Stallions, and everybody knows it. And then it's the whole, oh, I delete every text that I get. Yeah, sure you do. That's what everybody says when the police find them after they committed a crime. Oh, did you delete all those messages? Yes, I always do. No, you don't. No, you do. You do not. How is that guy still the head guy in Michigan? I can't understand it. I just don't. Everybody else is scattered like rats on a sinking ship and gone and done other things. And then he's the one there, like the head man, when he was directly involved right in the middle of all this. I don't get it. I don't get it. Albert, that's what I thought. New name in the chat, and everything he says is about Miami beating Notre Dame. Yes, I'm a Miami fan. Listening to Notre Dame fans hype themselves up before getting slapped around. Well, let me ask you this, Albert. What do you expect? Notre Dame's coming off a really, really good year. You guys collapsed and bottomed out and totally blew it the back half of last year. Totally fell apart. Do you really think that Notre Dame fans are going to come here and say, yeah, we suck and we think we're going to lose to Miami? Like, I don't know what you expect. If you go to the Miami chats, are they saying we're going to lose to Notre Dame? This is all awful. Now's the time for optimism. Now's the time for optimism for everybody. Nobody's lost any games. No one has lost any games yet. Now's the time for everybody to be optimistic. But you can't deny it. Miami, the bottom fell out of Miami last year. They were in firm playoff position for most of the year and just crapped the bed on the way out. That doesn't instill a ton of confidence. So I don't know, man. It's just, and the other thing, Albert, is how so much of what you guys did last year was that quarterback. That quarterback, to me, was the only reason that Miami was in playoff position to begin with. And Beck is back. You could be a believer or not. I don't think you're going to get the kind of performance that guy gave you. He was good, man. He was tough. The only reason they were doing anything is because of that. So I don't know. They lost 3 games, should have been 4. It just fell apart. It just fell apart. Major Burns Major Burns is such a cool name. Think about it. It could apply to anything. Like, it could apply to Mark with Glasses' this weekend. Like, I got Major Burns. It burns. I got Major Burns, man. So anyways, I don't know. They totally crashed out. Albert, let me ask you this. What is the pressure on Mario Cristobal? Can you answer that as a Miami fan? Can you answer that? What is the pressure on that guy around the Miami community? I don't know the answer to that, and I'm genuinely wondering what that pressure level's like. I've seen a lot of people say, man, the pressure's really on this guy this year, all this stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, yes. But I want to know how real is that pressure to make the playoff and not fall apart and all that stuff. And it does bother me, Albert, that nobody goes to your games. It's going to be sold out against Notre Dame. It's a fake fair weather fan base. And there's really no argument against that, Albert. Like, you got to tell me, why don't people go to all those games? And my Notre Dame's coming to town, better fill that place up. And every other game, nobody cares. It's a fair weather fan base. I do not respect that. I can't respect that. Our fan base, I mean, even when we're bad, you're there and you're just miserable, but you're there at least. I don't like those teams. USC's the same way. USC's the same way. Even Notre Dame can't get Peabody's in that place when we play there, other than our people. So I don't know, man. It's interesting. 5 callers, we're coming to you. $5 holler from the main man, Martinez. WPP is a gangster. That's why he's my own boy. Go Irish. I'm telling you, man. He got booted out of the chat. Thanks for the $5 holler. He got booted right out of that thing. Right out of that thing. You're right. You're supposed to be confident, but they act like you're playing Purdue is overconfident. I don't know, man. I have respect for this situation. I have full respect for this situation. $5 hour. What's going to be the starting 5 O-line coming? I don't know. How many more guys are going to get hurt in camp? Adam, how many more guys are going to get hurt in camp? It's the number one thing that's been driving me crazy is people telling me you need to relax stressing out about the O-line situation and injuries because everybody's going to have some injuries when you get to camp or whatever. So just relax. We got ours out of the way early. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. There's nothing that says Notre Dame won't also incur a couple of injuries in camp, and you're already down multiple guys. Gerby's on the Kirby. Jagasaw's got an issue. The homeboy Botello out. So, you're not even into camp yet. You're a few weeks from camp. You got guys banged up. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't know. Mark, if ND plays their best and Miami plays their best, I don't think there's any question ND wins. It's going to be interesting. But I guess the question I would ask is, callers are coming to you. The question I would ask is, what are the odds both teams play their best week 1? That's a tough thing to do. I mean, Notre Dame played a pretty clean, tight game at A&M last year. That was a pretty clean, tight ball game for week 1. Can you replicate that? Like you say, if both teams play their best, I don't know. Are you going to get that out of both these teams with so many moving parts? Are you going to get really good on really good week 1? I don't know. I don't know. This convict roots for ND. You're darn right. You may be an ex-con, but you're our ex-con, damn it. Man. What? I said about 5, it's no real pressure. You riding and dying with Mario. I'm not even sure I understand what that means. You mean the pressure level's about at a 5? So like out of 10, right in the middle, that kind of thing? Okay. It's going to be interesting. We're going to see. 949, what's up? 415, get your thesis ready. What's going on? Good morning.
Good morning. I can't believe you're trying to start a show with me. You're setting up for low expectations.
No. We're setting the bar high, baby. Want to talk to you to start off on a Monday morning.
Well, I got to kick out of a couple of things. One, the Always Irish theme song. I just listened to that show this morning, and the end, it's going to be a bear I dread. The tailgate, it's going to take all day to teach everybody at the Miami tailgate that theme song word by word.
Yeah, that was pretty creative. That was pretty good. I appreciate the creativity on that effort.
That was good. Other than that, days left until game time begins with a 4, baby.
So wait, let me ask you something. You're down in Florida. You're in South Florida, are you not?
I am.
Is there any vibe down there yet as a Notre Dame guy in that area? Like, is there you at the local watering hole and guys are talking crap about Notre Dame, Miami yet? Like, is there any juice building down there, or is there so much to do in South Florida that nobody's talking about football yet? Like, where are we at on this locally?
Yeah, that was exactly it. It wasn't until Friday that I got the first comment. And I wear Notre Dame gear all the time when I'm out and about. And I see a lot of people. And finally, the first guy, and he was typical Homestead / Hollywood. He had a gold grill. He had his dreads in curls or pigtails or whatever you call them.
Me too.
Braids, I guess. Yeah. And solid gold grill. He said, Notre Dame. He said, we're about to put one on you coming up. I said, yeah, I'm excited to finally get a home game here in Miami. Oh, yeah? You going to the game? Yeah, of course. Oh, it should be good. That was it.
Hey,
That's all I've got.
You got to keep wearing the Notre Dame stuff out to represent, man. It'll be a magnet, and you see if you could spark up some conversations. It's just, I love the retro aspect of all this, and I want to build up, show the fight in '88, do the whole thing, show it all. It's gonna be, man. It's just gonna it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. But I tell you, even the Miami sports bars, they'll have the Miami, they'll have the beer sign with the U crest in it, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. There's nothing else going on. Sports radio, they may mention the Hurricanes, but they don't go in depth. I did hear that Carson Beck is finally throwing. It looks like he's throwing well. I did hear some stats, so good for him. He had 11 touchdowns and no interceptions last year. But that's all you hear. Everything else is, they talk about the WNBA more than they talk about the Hurricanes. But everything is Miami Dolphins. It's heavy Dolphin talk. They talk Miami Heat, even post-draft. Now they're talking about the Summer League.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about soccer, and college football gets no play. So I blasted them on Twitter to see if I could get a reaction. But
you know what, man? In a way, Chicago's like that. Like Chicago local radio, it's not a college town. They only talk. There's one segment a week on the local stations where they really talk about the upcoming college football games. Chicago's the same way. It's not a college town. They don't talk about football, like college football. It's all the Bears and whatever. So it's just weird. Even some big cities don't necessarily, it's not college football crazy. They only talk about Notre Dame if they have to, or something really big happens in the Chicago sports radio. So I do understand that, but it'll build as the weeks go along. When you get into camp, it'll build, but you got to represent us down there. Keep wearing that Notre Dame gear in public. See what happens.
You got it. God bless you. God bless everybody listening, and go Irish.
Have a good one. What a nice guy. Kent, I want to Kent. Swan Dog $2 holler. Carr for 75 yards at the first play of the game. Book it. Here's what I want. I don't know about that. I know Albert says the 7th Floor Crew. That's old school. And these days, Albert, you could stream that song and get 1 million hits before the game. Think about it. When those guys did that, it was what? On a little cassette? You do it now, you put it on Spotify, you can get 1 million views before the game streaming. This is the modern era, you know? Here's my thought. You know, the first couple series where they pre-script the plays, right? They pre-script the plays, and you kind of have a plan for the first 2 to 3 drives, 15 plays, something in there, right? Somewhere in there, you got to do something. I mean, run the ball a few times and then try and do it again and have all of them coming up, fake that handoff, roll Carr out, and catch them deep over the top. I need one of those shots early. I get that you don't want to like put the kid at risk or have something catastrophic happen early in the season. I totally understand all of that. I need you to take a shot. If it's something tricky or just a good play fake or misdirection, whatever you got to do, I want to see something that allows that young quarterback to gain a lot of confidence early and hit something big. So maybe I feel it, and you air it out. And if it doesn't happen, it falls incomplete, no harm, no foul. But there's got to be something there you could do. John, are you ready for SEC propaganda for 4 days? Yeah, I can't wait. They're all going to get up there at media days and say, oh, the new playoff format, the SEC, we want 10 of those spots guaranteed because we're awesome. That's what they're going to say. Yeah, we want all the guaranteed spots because we're such the better conference and we deserve 10 guaranteed bids. That's what you're going to hear all week. and a bunch of people kissing Brian Kelly's butt for no reason. You're going to see that. You're going to see a lot of that. Can't wait. Can't wait. Ken, this is hilarious, Ken. Man, the caller had dreadlocks and a gold grill. You could have just said he was a black guy. I just think my man was being culturally careful there, describing this individual's looks. But it is funny. Like, the funniest thing, Kent, is if it's some dude that looks like me. That would be the funny part. If it's literally not at all, and it's somebody that looks like me, but he had the gold grill and the dreadlocks. So maybe the guy was white with red hair. We don't know, man. You could dread this up. Who knows? You know what? Maybe that's what I'm missing. I got the gold chalice of malice. I got the gold chain. Maybe I need to get me one of them permanent gold grills, man. It doesn't come out. Get me a Paul Wall, but make it gold. Like, I'm serious. Just imagine how it would be if I had a gold grill and I just came in here, and I'm like the. I wonder if you could buy a cheap one on eBay, like not a real one, but one you just set on your teeth for fun. And I just want to see how cool I look. Maybe we need to do that, man. Johnny for the hood. You know that. You know that. You need a dread wig. Man, sometimes I don't know about this show. John starts talking like Little John. Okay. What? Yeah. Okay. Hey, here's a call all the way from Honolulu. What does it do? I'm talking to you. 808-415 coming up. 808, what's up? Long time no talk.
Hi, John. Yeah, I usually appear when the season starts and I start getting excited again.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, I feel like it's really good to hear from you. I reckon you're the only caller I have that ever comes from a Hawaii number. So I know it's you. And you know what? Tell me if you feel this, man. Like you're saying, you know, I start coming back when that energy builds and you get back into football mode in your mind and that energy starts building. I feel like that's happened a little early this year because you had the good recruiting run Notre Dame's on where they're landing all these guys and not missing on any of them recently. Then you had the injury news. And I feel like that with the Miami start has a lot of people coming in a little early. And I love it. It fuels my energy, man. I love it.
Yeah, I would say the momentum seems to be picking up in recruiting as well. I mean, I would say also that it coincides with the fact that a lot of people around this time, around the YouTubers are sending their predictions. And in a lot of the predictions, you're seeing 12-0 with Notre Dame, which is kind of weird. Obviously, there's the one-off dark horse game that we could have. In my opinion, I see Arkansas. All the people are saying USC. I mean, you would say something else. What would you think is the game for us that could be the one loss?
Man, if it was one of the first two, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Just because there's so many moving parts I'm uncertain of. But see, here's where that messes with my head, man. Because if you beat Miami, I think the odds you beat A&M significantly increase. And if you lose to Miami, I'm going to feel like the odds of losing A&M. So is it more likely they go 2-0 and 0-2 or 1-1? This start is everything, man. I'm having trouble even focusing on the games beyond those first two because they are going to frame the entire perception of the season early and either apply pressure or take pressure off Notre Dame early. So it's like, it's not a 2-game season, but those two are going to set the tone for everything to come.
Yeah, I would say we used to have them. You used to have the narrative. Remember when you say Notre Dame has to slay that dragon? And last season we did slay a couple dragons. We beat Georgia for the first time ever. Dragon number 1. We get our New Year's Six win finally. Dragon number 2. There's still some dragons that remain. We haven't beat Ohio State since like Shakespeare got that touchback like almost 100 years ago. And then we still haven't beat Bama. We haven't gotten over the fact that we don't beat Miami in Miami. Lou Holtz never beat Miami in Miami. We got run out of the house in 2017. And now we are going back there. And then it's just going to be so loud because the Miami fans never show up, but they show up that day.
Yep.
So we have to beat that Dragon. And then, I mean, I feel like if that's accomplished, I don't fear Texas A&M at home because like those the SEC teams are like home merchants. So it's like, all right, you come to South Bend. I don't think they perform that well. So it's just getting over Miami, honestly. That's the game I'm going, and I hope we win. I want to be sad.
Yeah, that's a long way to travel from the West Coast all the way to Florida for to be depressed. What is your thought about Notre Dame's quarterback situation? Like, what do you feel about it? Are you confident it's going to go fine? Are you worried there's going to be a learning curve and some early mistakes against a tough schedule to start? Like, what are you thinking? You think it's going to be Carr? You think it's still a competition? Where's your mind at with that? It's a big moving factor.
Well, I mean, historically, surprisingly, we always do well with first-year quarterbacks. We go back to the basics, even with Kelly. We went back to the basics. We protected the quarterback. We gave them a lot of gimmies, and stuff went well. So in that sense, obviously, it's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be some mistakes. There's going to be shots that are missed that could have gotten us more comfortable situations score-wise. But I just don't know CJ Carr. Remember when we had Wimbush? Like, you had to get him like a big confidence bump at the beginning of the game. If not, he just spiraled. If you had Book, you had to have all those small conversions just to pick up his confidence to get stuff started. And then with Leonard, you just had to get some physical contact through the running game. So I don't know what CJ Carr's game is. And then I don't know what Miami prepared against, because that's just first and second drive. For me, it's like the key of that game. Because if we don't score, Miami gets rowdy, and then it's going to be a battle. Even though I think we're better than Miami, it's going to be a battle at that point. And then if we score, I think it's going to be a comfortable win.
Yeah, it's
so
man.
I don't know what,
yeah, it's just a lot of moving parts and some uncertainty. And I feel really good about where Notre Dame's at overall as a program. It's just you've got to get out to a really stable, steady start, and then we'll go from there. So I don't know, man. It's going to be really, really interesting. All of America is watching, and I don't know, man. It's going to be really interesting. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I do expect we're gonna make the playoff, even if we go 1-1. I really hope we go 2-0. I mean, it's hard to expect us to be perfect, right? Like, undefeated seasons are a one-off. And who are we without having the number one class to expect 12-0?
Yeah, it's tough.
But
it's tough to do that. Mm-hmm. But it's just you don't want to end up in a position you were in last year. You saw the pressure you're under when you lose one of your first two games. We felt like we had to be perfect throughout the rest of the year, and Notre Dame did that, and they ran the table. But it wasn't. It was full of pressure because every game you felt like the playoff was maybe on the line, you know? So it just kind of puts you in a tough spot when you drop one of them early games.
Yes, and then I would also want to bring the fact that remember I went to the Penn State game and I saw Jack was manhandling people, and man, you see the difference between a possible first rounder and the rest of the game. I mean, those two games dictate everything. USC is sort of, but I just don't see USC putting Because like, if we win, we usually win 50% of the time in Los Angeles. We win probably like 80% of the time in South Bend. Down, I'm just inventing that number, but just based on my experience, we usually take the win there. I mean, there's a new level of professionalism that needs to be put into that team. He getting injured when he's such a pivotal part of the game, horrible, especially since everything is in the beginning. Like we can walk our way through the second half of the season and then win all the games comfortably. But then what's the point of doing that?
Yeah, I'm
with
you.
2019, we lose the big ones and then we win comfortably. What's the point of that? Like, there's nothing that's going to be accomplished so through that. So, I mean, I know they have depth, and I mean that new recruiting is getting me excited. Now, I hope that come signing day, Oregon doesn't show up with a couple million dollars.
Yeah,
and steal stuff.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a wild ride. I'm having trouble focusing too much on the games beyond the first two because I just think they're so important. I understand there's 12 games on the schedule, but the first two are going to set the tone and the narrative and the pressure level on the program and the new quarterback so much. I'm just really having trouble. I'm seriously having trouble focusing on anything beyond that. Hey, man, why don't you give me a call when we get closer to the Miami game? I appreciate you being back. When we get into camp or whatever, give me a call back and touch base before you head down to Miami.
Yeah, got it. I will do that. And then tell the Miami fans stop having it both ways. They're living in the past.
I will do
but
that.
But then they attack us for living in the past.
Yeah. I like that. We could all live it. We could all vicariously live in the past. Hey, thanks a lot, man. Safe travels everywhere you go, and give me a call before that game.
All right. See you. Bye.
Have a good one. Yeah, I hear from him a couple times a year. It's always interesting. John will come in looking like, I'm an island boy talking about Notre Dame. I'm an island boy. What is wrong with America, man? When them two idiots can get famous, I just can't understand. Sitting in a hot tub, I'm an island boy. No, you're not. You're from Florida and you're an idiot. What do you mean? You are not. Look at this. Is John doing the Seawalk cultural appropriation? Probably, but it isn't going to stop me from dropping the C, baby. What do you mean? I've never done the Seawalk and had anybody be like, you need to stop that. You're like, everybody, they appreciate it when I cut a rug, baby. Come on. Give me a break. The Island Boy got beat up by Charleston White. Dude, you know what I saw the other day? They do these I see these YouTube shorts where they do these blind date setups and then they cut up the funniest interaction, or it's like a group of guys and then a girl comes out and they ask each other questions and then the girl picks the one they like and then they go out or something. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying this one girl was quite large. Very, very large, 3 spins around the wheel, 3 hundo. She was big. She came out there and Charleston White was one of the guys there, trying to find a girl or whatever. And the girl gets to ask questions of the guys. And the girl asks Charleston White, if we were to date, what is the first meal you would prepare for me? Without blinking, he goes, a salad. And she got so offended. She had her little sheet of questions. She goes, if we're dating, what is the first meal you're going to prepare for me? He looks right at her and goes, a salad. Oh my God, that's funny. Literally a salad. The Counting Crows singer was the only white guy with dreads that pulled it off. Yeah, I do remember him. Yeah, Mr. Jones and me. And he had the weird cornrows and everything. Yeah. Oh, man. A salad. 415. What's going on, Adam?
Johnny, that is so funny, bud. When I got out of surgery, listen to this. When I got out of surgery and I was on all those meds and everything, and I was just sitting at home, totally miserable, in pain, that is one of the very first times that I actually cracked a smile because I saw that on some, YouTube flip or whatever. And when he said a salad, I was all, and that's all I could get out. But I was like, that is incredibly hilarious.
He didn't miss a beat. He didn't miss a beat. He just goes, a salad. And he did it with that little Charleston White, his little accent, like his delivery, and he just looked right at a salad.
Oh, perfect.
And the other thing is, why does some of that crap end up in my algorithm? I don't understand. Like, I don't look that stuff up, and it pops up on my YouTube algorithm all the time. A salad. It was just really, really funny.
Oh,
it was funny. Adam, I'm starting to get, starting to get some anxiety, Adam. You got to talk me. I'm getting some anxiety here. We're 48 days in, and I'm on edge, bro.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I feel like we're closer to like 8 days away right now is the way it feels. Like I'm pacing around, going from next show to next show with you, and just like, okay, like let's go, let's line it up. And then you hear about like local sports not even talking about the game. It's incredible.
Yeah, it'll all pick up. But I sincerely believe Notre Dame's hot recruiting run and then the Jagasaw injury news brought back a lot of the people that usually take the offseason off to recharge. And those people usually come back when the calendar turns to August and we get to camp. But all of that good recruiting momentum and then the bad news, I feel like we're about 3.5 weeks ahead of the normal energy curve because people came back in with all that news. I really do feel like that, man. And you know what? The numbers kind of show that. Like my shows are having more people join and more people that are the names you don't recognize in the offseason coming back. So I think that's a good thing. We could do all that we want. I just don't want that team to peak. I need Notre Dame to build this up and peak at the right time. We could do whatever we want. I need them to be smart about the build up and when they peak.
Oh, completely. And rightfully so that we're all feeling this way with the amount of momentum and everything that's been going on. And the fact that it's not as if we are the University of Alabama, like where we just had a Nick Saban run and have whatever it was, 7 championships or something like that. Like we didn't have that, right? So we haven't had anything since 88 as far as that goes. So right now it really comes down to the fact that we are ready for this as a fan base. The school, I'm sure, is ready. The town of South Bend is ready. That entire area is buzzing with it. And so rightfully so, we are ready for this, so we should be like this. Now, if you're a player, if you're a coach, if you're in the actual, locker room and dealing with film and everything, getting up for this and like understanding like the seriousness of it, of course, 100%. But do they need to be, so invested that they're exhausted by the end of the day every single time? No, because they need to check themselves and be ready for it, when it actually is time to do that.
Yeah. It's, man, there is,
sorry about that. That was my son.
Yeah, I heard that. It blew my eardrum out. Just kidding. You're good. You're good. I didn't know if that was a dog attacking you that I got attacked with or getting on the train in Chicago or what. It sounded like a bite or a woof or something.
No, it was 7. It's a 7-year-old trying to get my attention. But,
close enough. Yeah. Buzz's girlfriend, woof. What I've been thinking a lot about is this quarterback dynamic. And what an important job Mike Denbrock and Gino have of understanding where they're starting at with whoever the starter is. It is one of the keys to the Miami game to me is how big is the leash? How many risks do we take? Like, what is the game plan like? What do you trust the kid to do? How much leeway are you giving him? How much you trying to protect him and ease him into this versus letting it rip? All of that stuff. And a lot of it comes down to those two guys knowing and having a good feeling of where they're starting at. You got to know what this guy could take on his plate. without overwhelming him, but not underdoing it if he's capable of doing more. You got someone in this program's got to have a grasp of that level. Somebody, anybody.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree. And here's the thing, you brought up a great question about how are we all feeling about this quarterback situation right now? And the reality is that there is what is happening right now, and there is what we can be looking forward to in the future. As far as like where our quarterback situation is in the future, this is incredible. We have two young guys. We have more people coming in, and it is. I think the level of play is going to be elevated tenfold from where it was as far as quarterback play, and that's going on in the future. But what the other side to that coin is, how do we feel about it? Comes week 1 and 2, or week 1 and 3, I should say. And that is a bigger deal because of the fact that that's the here and now. And within weeks 1 and 3, as we talked about Saturday night, we will be making or breaking our season. If we go 0 and 2, I don't know that we make the playoffs. Betting on what the other teams do in the SEC and the Big Ten and how they're getting a lot more pull, I can see it where we could be on the outside looking in, because what would be the kind of wins that we have. So whereas if we're 2-0 or even 1-1 and we go 11-1, then it might be something different. So as far as the future goes, we're in a great spot. But as far as in the here and now, it might not be. You know what I mean? Because we have to take care of the ball. So yes, I want to do exactly what you were talking about, which is get out there. And yeah, you're going to run the ball, of course. You're going to try to control the line of scrimmage. But at the same time, take those shots. Like I said Saturday night, go over the top, make them respect the box. They can't sit here and just keep bringing in 8 and try to shut down that run, and that's it. Like, we have got to let them have to respect the pass and the downfield play, because of the fact that if they do start doing that and they try to shut us down and we can't go over the top, or we can't get the ball downfield, then it's going to be a longer night.
Yeah, it is. It's just a very delicate balance. And I think I don't want to overthink it, but these are just all the things in my mind, man. And I keep going back to the easiest way to ease this new quarterback in is a lockdown defense and a good offensive line. And I have questions in both of those areas too. Not doubts, not negativity, but questions until I see that it's okay.
Yeah, for sure. And that is going to be just a repetitive message in our own minds until it comes that night, until that game is started and we start seeing what is actually on the field. We got to see what it looks like. It might turn out to be completely lights out. This kid is, whoever it is throwing downfield and we're scoring touchdowns and everybody's like just as excited as they can. And out of week 1, we're talking about Heisman, Or it could be like, hey, he played a decent game. He took care of the ball. He made a couple throws downfield, and he's learning, Or it could be the opposite, where, man, they just put him in some bad situations, And I think the latter of those three is not going to happen. I don't think that this coaching staff is going to be putting either one of those kids, whoever it is, into a bad situation where they are going to be pressured to feel like they have to win the game themselves. It's going to be the running game. It's going to be that 3-headed monster. It's going to be the offensive line. And, of course, a stout defense that should be returning and, should take care of the ball on the other side. Because, again, they don't have Cam Ward. And that was their entire offense last year. It just really was. Now, as far as Beck goes, he could come out and he could, have his, one-hit wonder natural, just the way he just plays sometimes out of his mind. And you're just like, okay, what is that? And we're going to have to be ready for it. But at the same time, with our defensive backs, with what we have returning, I just don't see them taking us down. I really don't.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. Wait and see. Like, I have my checklist of all these things that are on my mind that I'm thinking about and worrying about. And I just want to see that they're going to be okay. Kent Jackson's talking about Cristobal's going to want to run the ball, talking about they bring back a big offensive line and they're going to try and run the ball. And one of the ideas with the Notre Dame defensive shift here with some of the changes, I think it was Snead in the spring was talking about it's going to be way more of like a fire off downhill type thing, you know, crash the line, like more reacting than thinking and just going downhill to stop the run. I love it. Like, so I don't know. Let's see what's going to happen, man. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But we got 48 days.
Yeah,
We're going to worry about it.
48 days. And I'll tell you, just so you know, it is scheduled and slated for ABC. You were asking what it was going to be on. It's slated for ABC.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So I don't know, man. We're going to break it all down a million different ways for the next 48 days. And then finally, we're going to get some answers. And then we're going to know the starting level. We're going to get some answers. You're going to get some data. And then you'll be able to at least have an idea of what level this is all starting at. Hey, man, thanks for giving me a call on a Monday. I hope you have a good one. And thanks for calling Saturday. What a treat.
Oh, it was fantastic. That was a fun time. It definitely got a little emotional towards the end, man, you know, with everybody talking, but that's okay. That's human nature. And that's, you know, part of football and part of life, right? Is a big part of it is the emotions that we all have. So yeah, all good. And hey, you know, as far as the internet goes, Johnny, like you'll find a bunch of goofballs who just sit there and talk about their island boys or whatever. And then they find like the diamond in the rough, like you know, and it's like, you got to take the good with the bad. Like sometimes it's going to be horrendous and you're just like, what am I looking at? And how in the world are these people making money doing this stuff? And then on the other end, you go, thank God it's here because now we all have this, right? Yeah. So give and take, I guess.
Oh man, it's you never know what you're gonna get. You never know. Hey, have a good week, man. Thanks for the call as always.
You got it. Take care, Johnny.
See ya. Oh man, I'm an island boy talking about Notre Dame. I'm an island boy with a 2 IQ. Oh, Tom, I got you. You're coming up. You're coming up. The last rap album I bought was The Chronic. I'm going to tell you this right now. If that's the last album you bought, you may as well just be happy with it and quit. You like literally, if that's the last one you bought, be happy with that. Ever since that time, music's gone down the crapper anyways. You may as well just bump that. You may as well just bump that one. And you want to know what else too with that? That album, there is not one beat that is not good on that entire album. There is literally not one beat that is not fantastically produced on that entire album. Like it takes a good beat. It takes a good beat to make Johnny move his feet. You know what I'm talking about? There is not one of those tracks that does not have a banging beat. Just perfect West Coast, baby. West Coast. Slip. Is your brother's name Fall? John's dog story it reminds me of when Beavis got mauled on the show. I remember there was one where Tom, you're coming up. I remember there was an episode where Beavis and Butthead went and they were adopting a dog. Or they wanted to get a dog, or they found a dog. They ended up like at the dog adoption place after having a dog for a few days. And the lady was trying to figure out if they would be good dog owners or not. And she asked them, like, what do you feed the dog or whatever? And I'll never forget, Butthead looked around and he goes, garbage. It was just the funniest thing to me. They're like, what is the diet you've been feeding this dog since you found him at the junkyard or whatever? And he goes, garbage. And they're like, I don't think that's going to be good enough. Chicago's very own Tom Frawley. What's going on, buddy?
Well, hold on one moment, please. So Chicago's very own. Hang on a minute. I did something wrong here. Chicago's very own is probably going to be about Chicago's in the rearview mirror very soon. You know, it's just another lovely day in the People's Republic of Chicago, Cook County, and the state of Illinois run by Marxist communists. But I'm going to leave it at there. It's still a beautiful day. What can I tell you?
You can leave Chicago and still be Chicago's very own. It's about your roots, baby.
I understand.
It's about your roots.
Oh, no. No. I that's 1,000%. So, and I get it. But boy, I'm going to take a ride down to that little place I told you about, Nirvana, and I'm going to look at a spot on Thursday.
Good for you.
So yeah,
good for you.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes from the Golden Dome. He said, "Are you kidding?" On a spring-fed lake.
Oh, Tom, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
I could foresee some live shows recorded on site there with Tom Frawley and John. We're 20 minutes away from the stadium. We could use this, man.
Oh, it's going to put that down in the book. We'll get Goolsby on. We might even get the Rocket to show up. You never know. But yeah, it's interesting take. I saw a fella talking about, was it Josh Pates? One of these guys. I can't remember who it was. I was looking through. Notre Dame's getting a lot of publicity from the media that covers college football. So going into last year, right, it was lazy journalism on their part, lazy reporting, because they didn't know what Notre Dame had last year. And even going down through the season, they were beefing about the schedule. They're not playing a conference schedule, all that crap, right? And of course, all the NIL talk and everything. But now they're focusing on Notre Dame's schedule, and they're calling it SEC-esque type schedule because there's landmines. The landmines being like Arkansas, Boise State. I'm telling you, when they go down to Fayetteville, that's Tennessee. What happened to them last year down there? That's a rough place to play. And those suey pig Arkansas fans, they're chomping at the bit, right? And the entire state of Idaho is going to sound up in South Bend. The tickets are already off the chain for that game, right? So, look, there's and then the Vatican Bowl against BC. You can throw that out. They're up and coming. Syracuse, they finished the season strong last year. There's maybe two really winnable games where you absolutely know Notre Dame's going to win. It's Stanford and Navy, right? And look, Navy's got their quarterback coming back. Blake Horvath, kid's a magician, phenomenal athlete. You never know what happens. I still think the way that they moderated the blocking rules, it takes away a lot of the chop blocks. So, it depends where, these kids are. I think Freeman absolutely knows how to manage the season now. He knows how to set expectations for not only the players and the other coaches, but the fans as well. I'm anxious to see him in the press conference situation in the preseason and the first couple of games, and see how much he's matured, because it wasn't even coach speak. He was trying to be, the first couple of years, he was just trying to be he was trying to be all things to all people. Right. Yeah. And now he knows, even tough. With Tim Priester and all the heavy Notre Dame guys, media guys that cover, that always ask the first or 5 questions, he can kind of keep them off balance now and not tell them everything that's going on. It's a poker game, right? Yeah. So, he doesn't have to show his hand anymore, John.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's gotten much better and much more comfortable in those scenarios. Tom, I got to tell you the same thing I mentioned earlier. I have a real rough time trying to think to many of these games beyond the first two, because the results of the first two are going to dictate the entire circumstance and vibe and pressure level around all the other ones. And it's like, I know that's kind of irresponsible of me, but so much of the narrative and the perspective and the perception around this team is going to be based on those first two results that are going to impact how all those other games are going to look and feel and be approached. I have a really hard time looking beyond those two, because so much is going to change when we get to USC and Boise State or whatever, depending on how the early stuff goes. I'm just having a rough time looking past those to anything else.
Well, I can honestly tell you this. As I start to handicap the season, handicap the schedule without, them being in camp, who's injured, who's not. So just looking at it on paper right now, you gotta think, okay, yeah, those first 2 games are humongous. But because of the strength of schedule, and I believe the success of each team that they're going to play is going to be much greater than it was last year. I would say ostensibly Notre Dame could probably drop 1, maybe 2 games and still get into the playoff. It depends on who they lose to, when they lose. But 5 games out from so game 7 to game 12, they got to be on the upswing. They can't lose another game between between game 7 and game 12. They got to go into the playoffs with a head of steam. So if they drop an early game, it's not the end of the world. So you have to look at it from that perspective, right? And it's possible because with this the question mark at the quarterback. I still think, and I'm getting ready to make a wager on this, and I don't know where or how I'm going to do this, but I think C.J. Carr starts, and I think he's going to situationally use Kenny Minchie, and he's going to put his best 11 on the field for situation and let Mike Denbrock cook. I think what Goolsby said last week, he was spot on. Mike Denbrock was chomping at the bit to open up that playbook last year and the limitations of Riley Leonard and whatnot. Now that he's got 2 gunslingers, I'm telling you, oh my God, I'm serious. I have not been this excited about a Notre Dame quarterback since the 1970s.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential there. It's just, I don't know what that growth arc looks like, Tom. I don't know what level we're starting at.
No,
And I don't know that, but I'm with you. When you get to the back half of this year, barring major catastrophic injuries, this team's going to get a lot better. That defense is going to settle into the new routine with Ash. That O-line, whoever it is going to, they're going to start gelling together that everybody talks about. And the quarterback will get more comfortable. So I think this team is going to get better as the year goes on. That's why you just got to be in playoff position early enough. So when you hit that, you're in a good spot. You just can't have a couple nightmares early.
And I believe he knows this. Now, the other X factor, John, is the Ash defensive coordinator thing. Now, I think I told you this when he got interviewed on the sideline during the Blue Gold game, and I know a lot of your guys, the Always Irish crowd saw it was pretty off-putting. He's a crusty bastard. He's a football coach, right? And I just don't think he's as pliable as Golden. I think I hope he proves me wrong, but I got a genuflect when I'm thinking about how he's going to run his defense.
Yeah.
I don't want him to waste talent. You know what I mean? When you think about the linebacker talent, holy mother of God, and of course the DBs, he's got to time, if he's going to play man defense and man up, he's got to let these linebackers, he's got to get their timing right so that when Bowen and KVA and all these guys, and of course Snead and Jaden Osbury, I mean, my God, those guys run like gazelles. Just get them to the gap. They got to be gap. They've got to have gap integrity, right?
Yeah.
And they've got to have some discipline.
Yeah.
That's where that linebacker coach is. And that's where Marcus Freeman cooks. He was a linebacker. He's got to be hands-on with these guys because the potential of that defense to be disruptive and probably the best defense since 88 or 1977. It's possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember what was on 77 was 2 All-American defensive ends and an All-American middle linebacker. Bob Golick, Ross Browner, Willie Fry, and of course you had Luther Bradley, 3-time All-American at cornerback. I mean, they've got that same talent. And defense wins championships. So you got to let them cook. So I hope Ash, I hope that was not a poor hire. I really do. If we go back and we look at the machination of how he got hired, was he hired too quickly? And I'm asking that. It's not a rhetorical question. I'm asking that question.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And the whole thing, it was just a little weird that like that name came out of nowhere. Like it totally came out of nowhere. And you're just like, it kind of all came together very uniquely. But at least Ash knows the assignment, Tom. He knows the assignment. He got up there and said, I know how good this defense has been, and my job is to not ruin it. Like, at least he gets it. And he knows he doesn't have to go in there and be some wizard who puts it all together. Like, your job is to caretake what's already been good enough.
Yeah, I'm praying that he doesn't turn into a Van Gorder and makes it complicated with all that. You remember that it freezes these kids, hesitation. He who hesitates is lost, especially when you're playing defense. You know what I mean? So, and the other thing with the coaching, finding the coaches, it's an incestuous business, right? They all know each other.
Yep.
And they're great copycats, right? Coaches are phenomenal copycats. They steal more material than comedians do.
Yeah.
And it's you're trying to mirror what's successful, what's the defense du jour, what's the offense du jour, whatever. And it's like, but can you evaluate the talent? Who can they evaluate right now going into spring camp? If something happens to our D lineman, who can we plug in at D line? Defensive tackle, and now those two ends. Jesus, I get so excited. And I'm sorry, Bathello, but the talent is there. They just have to coach them up. And it all. I think if they could possibly go to a 3-4 defense this year too, in certain situations, because if he wants to play zone less than Al Golden did, you go to the 3-4 and you let those linebackers cook. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's just a lot to look for. There's a laundry list, checklist of all the different moving parts here that we want to see put together, and how good are they early and this and that. And we got 48 days to worry about it. So, Tom, good luck on the journey there. Let me know, text me, and let me know what it's like when you're looking at that place, will you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just, it's the first real opportunity that I've had to take a peek at it. I'm going down with a good buddy of mine that lives there. So, yeah, it's time to make a move. This once great city of Chicago that was a world-class city is no longer. And I hate to talk like that, but it's a shame what's going on in this city. And you know what? I have the mentality of an old West Sider, an old South Sider. I remember the parishes. I remember the people, the fun. I remember everything. It's time to rock and roll. You gotta leave.
Hey, do what you got to do. And at least you'll have a second welcoming home there around South Bend, man. I know it'll be a second home for you.
Oh.
Yep, it'll be good. Oh. Tom, we'll talk to you. Safe travels to check it out, okay?
God bless. Go Irish. We'll talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. How much time you got, buddy? Say you do lose 2 games early and win out. Is that enough to get to the playoffs, or will they punish you guys because of the conference thing? Early losses are always better than later losses. I think 2 losses, Notre Dame's probably in at the bottom of the bracket, but it depends a little bit on what the rest of the landscape looks like, especially if the losses are in the first half of the season. Notre Dame will be kind of in a bad spot. And then if you win out, just by checking off weeks and winning, you'll start moving up. So I think 2 losses, you'll be able to sneak in at the bottom, especially if they're early. But then you're not getting the home game. You're going to have a tough road start, that kind of thing. And then if they expand to 16 the way they're talking about, 10-2, Notre Dame's in every single year at 10-2. Especially if it goes to 16. Notre Dame's in as an at-large bid at 10-2 every time. So I don't know. Mark with glasses, what's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. Adam Dowling had a comment on Patreon on one of the things over there. He said, that we've kind of been patted on the back the last 6 months, and he was kind of worried about that stuff getting to the players, and Nick Saban famously called it rat poison, and
well, you didn't win the championship. You didn't win the championship. So, like, isn't there a natural level to your exuberant? Like, isn't there a natural, like, I mean, that's the ultimate thing. Like, you didn't win the championship. So nobody should be getting too high on their britches.
Right. But I want to talk about sense of urgency and like this window we're right in right now. And we just, I know I put in the chat earlier, but we're 7-1 against ranked teams. And we just saw, we're always talking about proof of concept with players. We just saw proof of concept with a team that by, it had holes, they had injuries, they had a limited offense, and it still did what it did. And obviously it remains to be seen if they can like replicate that. But I see it in like this chat and some of the other shows, like the lowering of the expectations, almost push back because there's too much excitement and they want to like kind of slow it a little bit.
Yeah.
And and we're going to continue to worry about all this shit regardless along the way, but that's not to take away from, this is going to be a good team. It could be a great team. I get it, like hoping for the best, praying for the worst, but it's just kind of odd that we're kind of doing it without even knowing it. Like we, coming off the loss, it took some time to get over that, and we're like, well, looking back, we accomplished a lot of great things. We had that for a few weeks. And then now as we get near the season, now we're like questioning everything.
Yeah, it's some of that is the natural fan arc of the anxiety leading into a season where you have all questions and no answers. And then to your previous point, I think there's an appropriate level here where everybody around the program, fans, media, players, coaches, everybody, builds off the momentum of the legitimately good things that were done last year, but not to the point to where you just think you're going to roll the ball out there and kick people's heads in. Like, there's got to be a reasonable thing of having confidence and feeling secure in who we are and what we're doing and that we're pretty good, but not to the point where you take anything for granted.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cycle. Like we're cycling continuously through like how we feel about the team. But also, this is a side note, but plays in the sense of urgency. It's kind of funny. My dad passed away a couple years ago, and at his funeral, we sang the Notre Dame fight song. And I kid you not, my dad's funeral procession was 2 cars, my car and my brother's car, because most of my family's dead and gone. So when I speak of like sense of urgency,
yeah, like
we need a title over here for the Mark with Glasses crew.
Yeah, it would be good.
But, like this window right now, I feel like some of us that are excited, like we have to overly justify why we're excited. And it's like when you hear somebody say that, Mario's better than Freeman or something, we're like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't understand that one. I cannot I don't understand what the argument is, because the record doesn't do that.
Yeah. So yeah, and I like I said, I understand not getting too high, but at the same time, like we need to have high expectations. This team needs to produce. There's really no reason we shouldn't win every game. I understand certain things happen, and that could very well be the case. But like this, like we're good to go. I'm not gonna yeah, that's about all. But just to kind of push back against the pushback, I guess.
Yeah, you're going to go through these cycles for the next 48 days. You're going to go through cycles of feeling like you're really, really good and on top of the world, and you're going to beat everybody or anybody. And then you're going to have some days where you're like, I'm kind of worried about this. How could this go bad? I'm worried about that. What if this happens? This is all a part of the buildup, and we're in it now. Mark, thanks a lot, buddy. I'll see you tonight, I'm sure.
Later, bye.
See ya. Rodney, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up, John? How you doing this fine morning?
I'm doing very well. There is a lot of momentum building. I could feel it. People are getting bought back in, man, and we're exploring everything.
No doubt. You know, the Jagasol thing is that's a bummer. No doubt. Because, I mean, it's like, oh, what time is he going to be back? Basically, right in time for the bye week going into game 3. So that's a bummer. At least that's the latest, right? Maybe that's the, you know.
I would be shocked if he's back that. I'd be shocked if he's back that soon. Somebody said, I ain't no doctor. We all know that. But somebody said, the humerus is a big bone. And then if that gets broke on a big guy, it's going to take longer. I certainly am not no doctor, so I don't know, but he's going to be out for a while.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, and by that point, whoever the two guys or the guys that are going to be replacing him collectively or at, one spot, whatever, it will, already be 2 games in. So at that point, you may keep him out a few more.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. But it's John. I mean, we were in this position last year and we lost like 3 guys.
Yeah.
I mean, and Rudolph did what he did. So it's weird, but this is one time where, I mean, that sucks. Don't get me wrong. But I think that now it doesn't, also matter because we got a brand new quarterback. I get that. So, but I think here's the thing, man. And going back to the defense with this one, Ash just had literally like what they said, or the caller a couple calls ago. The Van Gorder thing must be avoided. But here's why I really I'm not worried about that. Is Freeman is a defensive guy, and he was in the Brian Kelly system. He was in his own Cincinnati. He's got a good understanding of the defense, and he's just taken what Brian Kelly, to be fair, man, did start. He started a culture of defense. He did something that he got all the things that you hire Brian Kelly for in terms of offensive knowledge. He didn't ever reach those expectations except for maybe 2015, but he absolutely did start that culture, and Freeman has taken it to now another level.
Yeah,
they have, and that's been the standard. And John, that's why I'm not as worried because defense travels well. I think it's going to be going into that environment, and after it's not Miami, but beating Penn State in the way we did in that Orange Bowl, I think there's something about that momentum, and I think it's going to be a great football game. But I'll say this, man, I am a little, that schedule's a little tougher than the more I think about it. I'm like, Boise State could be tricky. Arkansas absolutely could be tricky.
Yeah,
Navy could be tricky. And then you think about the revenge factor with Elko with, 2 heartbreaking losses in a row to Notre Dame, especially a couple of years ago at Duke. I mean, there's a lot we're up against, and losing Jagasol, all those little things matter. So I could see it go, I could see us 11-1, absolutely as good as we were last year, maybe better. And I could also see we're probably going to be really good, but what's our record going to be? Are we going to have a couple unfortunate losses? You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's my scare. I feel like it's a floor of 9-3, but 9-3 don't give us in.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely
right. But you
right.
can see it happening, John. That's what I'm saying. It's not like we're above that at this point. I don't think we will be. I want to make that clear. I think it could be a 10-2, 11-1 year just because we're breaking, and you're going to see all the talent on the field and all this athleticism. You're going to like whatever he's going, but you still see, a loss happen and, and then another one maybe, damn. But you just got to avoid that third one. But, I really think this year 10-2 gets us in, but you just got to avoid whatever that is.
Yeah.
Whatever the ranking is, but I think it gets us in nonetheless. So,
man. Yeah, it is. Listen, it is. Joe M says Notre Dame fans are afraid of their own shadow. It's just when you live and die this stuff the way we do, you think about every angle, the good, the bad, everything in between, what could go right, what could go wrong. You just think about it. And you have 48 days still. So this is not going away. It's just going to build.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. There's no question, especially the first game being there's a lot of good college football games the first few weeks of the season. Real exciting. So as far as a college football fan goes, man, bring it on. It's weird how this sport, with all the changes it's gone through, the NIL, transfer portal, the new wave of thinking about things, in general, it has remained a fascinating genre of sport that it's great. It sounds corny to say, but it's great to be a part of it. With you personally, with the friends that you've brought together, your family, the tailgate crew, all this, and then just the greater macro vision of college football and the pageantry and the tailgates. John, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
and it's one thing. There's a few, that are traditional concepts of America, whatever. But the one that means most to me, man, is college football.
Yep.
And isn't it great that we get excited about this stuff this early? So, yeah, bring it on, man. Bring it on.
Yeah, it is, man, it's awesome. And the energy's building and people are buying back in and their batteries are recharged. I think everyone was drained after that playoff run. And
wow.
Everybody
really
was
cool, though, John. This is the thing, though. Think of it this way. And Ohio State won the national title, and they were the best team last year. Got to give them that. It's not like the best team won. But, damn, to do something that no other teams have done. Notre Dame and Ohio State, went to the final. 14 games, Freeman won. All these milestones, winning 2 bowl games like that. Not going down, not being down by 4 touchdowns and giving up. That team showed me something. Like, okay, this wasn't a mirage. They just got kind of shell shocked for a moment. And Ohio State's talent really just came,
Yeah.
And a couple unfortunate things in there. Anyway, we are. This is fun, man. This is fun.
Yeah, and we should be entering
it ain't going to be perfect.
Yeah,
but it's fun.
We should be entering Freeman's prime at Notre Dame. Not a new guy anymore.
Yes.
He's through 3 years. He's been able to flip the roster, the recruiting operation.
Yeah.
Some of the coaches have come and gone. He has skins on the wall now with last year. That's what I'm most interested in. You're about to enter Freeman's prime. And what is the high end of that going to look like? This is really interesting.
And John, and honestly, and you're right. And I am all on board, with bells on. And of course, I absolutely agree with you. He's going into his prime. And then you got other, again, but then broadening that out to college football, you got Dan Lanning, hitting his prime. And, Brian Day, obviously, at Ohio State. You still got, Dabo, he's still sneaking in there, and all these up and coming coaches. And Franklin Franklin needs to prove himself this year. This is like the Franklin prove yourself year, put up or shut up.
Yeah,
I feel like for a lot of Penn State. So it's just fascinating, man. It really is. And Notre Dame is on the cutting edge of all that. And that's what's awesome.
There are
we're finally there.
Big narratives.
We're there, John. We're in that realm now.
Yeah, it's. Man, you got to make that playoff again and really cement yourself that you're going to be in it every year. It's going to be interesting, and we're going to break it all down and lose our minds till this ball's kicked off. And then once we get into Miami, we'll have some data and we'll know what we're dealing with in practically, not in theory. We'll know what we're dealing with. Rodney, thanks for the call, buddy. I really appreciate it. Have a good start to the week.
Yeah, you too, my friend.
Have a good one, buddy. How much time you got? Al Golden was phenomenal at adjustments, halftime and end game. Ash is definitely a question mark. If Al was still there, I think they win it all. Very, very, very fair point. Extremely fair point. A lot of times that defense they'd give up some stuff early, some chunks early that you don't like or whatever. And then once Uncle Al's mind figured out what they're doing, it tightens up. You going to get that from Ash? You saw that over and over and over. Those first couple series, sometimes Notre Dame's defense looked a little vulnerable. All Al needed to see is how are they trying to attack us? And then he figured it out and adjusted, and then it shut it down. Are you going to get that from Ash? I don't know. That's a pretty high bar. I would say Al was elite with the adjustments. Are you going to get that? I don't know. Irish Cubby, it's just the same criticism every show over and over and over. Well, what else can you do in the offseason? There's no other data. I don't know exactly what you're referencing, but I'm just saying all of these narratives are going to be a thing on every show until we get data. Everybody's going to talk about all these things the way we are until the game happens and you see what you're really dealing with. So I don't know. Or are you just talking about Kent? In which case, yeah, go ahead and give him a hard time. SPF. I have the solution to ND recruiting better QBs and wide receivers. It's simple. Beat OSU. Yeah, I'm talking to Kent. Well, then keep it going then. Keep it going. Yeah, I'm not smart enough to talk, listen to the callers, and monitor all the chat, man. I don't have the brain whip, dude. I don't have the brain whip. The solution to ND recruiting better QBs and wide receivers, beat OSU. Yeah, and the easiest way to beat OSU with the other things we have going that are good enough is a great QB and wide receivers too. Chicken and the egg. Chicken and the egg on that one. Oh, boy. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this show. I got things to do. I'm going to go to the gym, run a couple errands, write a couple articles, and then we'll see you on the Monday night show. I really do appreciate all the interaction. The numbers are going back up. The offseason people are buying back in. Saturday night was a riot. We had a great time there. This show had a ton of energy. I love the vibe building to the season. And we'll see you on Monday Night Raw. Thanks for the donos. Thanks for the call. See you on Raw.